What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. We're going to take a look at some of the upcoming changes to Season 2. There are some big Mythic Plus changes happening. And we're going to talk about the crest changes, the rating changes, which are really important, Mythic Plus rating changes. We're going to talk about key depletion a little bit, and we're going to talk about the new Delve rewards as well. So buckle up. This is going to be good. I want to hear what you guys think about this in the comments down below as well. Let's just dive right in. If you haven't heard, we're going to look at the new Xal'atath affix really quickly first. So there's a Void Pulsar affix on the way. Okay. This is going to replace Oblivion. And I have a nice little picture that I drew for you guys. Okay. We'll just shrink it a little bit so you can see both. Okay. So in the old, in the current version of the game, we have Xal'atath's Bargain Oblivion. It spawns all those orbs out in like Narnia out here, and then they kind of race towards the enemies, and you have to intercept those orbs. It's very annoying. Nobody likes it. Okay. The new Pulsar one is going to basically put orbs around each player, and it's going to orbit around your player, and other allies need to intercept your orbs. So we all have to kind of like clump together and, you know, hit each other's orbs as they're going around us. And then you're going to be able to get the exact same buff. I think it's like a mastery. It's still a mastery buff. So that is the big change to Pulsar from Oblivion. Fantastic change, to be honest. I think everybody hated Oblivion because it completely changed how you had to play the dungeon. Like, you spent an enormous amount of time just hunting down these orbs so that they wouldn't touch the enemies. So now it's going to be around each individual ally, and you can't touch your own orbs. You have to go and get somebody else's orbs, right? You go over here, and then they come over to you, and you get each other's orbs. I think that's how it's going to end up working, okay? So that's the first major change, is this Void Pulsar coming through. Really, really good change for Mythic Plus. I'm glad Oblivion is gone. We'll see if this affix has its own set of problems that we haven't seen yet. Maybe it'll also be terrible. I don't know. But so far, it looks pretty good. Let's talk about the Season 2 Mythic Plus changes. This is a pretty big deal. Basically, there is a huge buff that you can get if you get to the rating of 2850, okay, in Season 2. So attain a Mythic Plus rating of at least 2850 during the War Within Season 2. Failing to clear a Mythic Plus dungeon within the timer will no longer reduce the level of your keystone below a 12. So you have keystone depletion protection at least a 12 and under. If you go above a 12, you're on your own. But you must get a Mythic Plus rating of at least 2850 before you even get access to this like buff. Okay? So if you have less than 2850 rating in Season 2, then you will not have any key depletion protection at all. It's going to be the exact same game as you know it right now. So you will still deplete keys, you know, at a plus 11 level or whatever, and plus 10, and you will still have the toxicity that exists around the whole key depletion thing. There's still going to be a serious need for you to probably play meta specs in that lower bracket. I'm not entirely sure that this really fixes anything in the current game. For people who are below 2850, you're still going to run into these problems. Let me just show you what that actually requires. Right now, my monk has 2796 rating in the current season, and I've done a couple of 12s, but I've done a lot of 11s. So basically, you need to get all the keys done at a plus 12 in order to get 2850 rating. That's my guess. I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for. Okay, somebody give me the exact number if you want in chat or in the comments down below. But I'm pretty sure what they're basically saying, Blizzard is saying, is you have to do every key at a plus 12 level. And if you do, you unlock this cool new buff. Okay, so your keys will never deplete below a plus 12. Keys that you get from the vault will also not decay below a plus 12, which is really nice. That's really good. You can still lower the key manually with Sindorni if you want to. If you want to like run your key for a friend, you can lower your key to like a plus 10 or a plus 9 or whatever that they need. And you run the key with your friend. And then on the next reset, you'll get a plus 12 key again. So even if you manually deplete your key well below a plus 12 in order to go help out your buddies, or maybe you want to sell some plus 10 runs to people for WoW Gold, of course, then you can go do that. And then in your vault the next week, you'll still get a plus 12, which is very cool. It lets you keep pushing higher keys without having to regrind, which is really, really good. Because sometimes you'll do a plus 12 and it'll deplete, and then you'll deplete the plus 11 sometimes, and then you're down to a plus 10. You got to grind your way back up. It's really annoying. So for those people who are pushing the plus 12s and above, this is a fantastic change. It's really good. That includes me on my shaman. I've done everything at a plus 12 level on my shaman now. I've even done some plus 13s. So that's really, really good. It also lets you practice routes potentially without worrying about key depletion. Let's say you want to start a necrotic wake and you want to get that first pull of necrotic wake down pat. You want to get in there and make sure that everybody understands exactly what they're doing. This lets you practice that run, and that is really good. That is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Also, the plus 12 level is where you get rid of all of the other affixes, the random ones. You're still going to have basically just the Xalatath affix is all I mean. You're still going to have fortified and tyrannical, and now there's also going to be a buffed version of the Xalatath affix. It's going to go to plus 12% per key level. So the Xalatath's Guile, which kicks in at level 12, it increases the health and damage of enemies by 12% per level instead of 10. So it used to be 20%, and then it got reduced to 10, and now they're going to buff it up again to 12. So it's gonna scale a little bit harder per key level. But the point is, it's good, really, really good for anybody who's above the 2850 rating. For anybody who's below 2850, you can still deplete keys. Getting to 2850 will not be easy, in my opinion, because you have to do a plus 12 at every key level. That is not easy to do, guys. It's really not. I took a long time to get mine. As I was pugging them mostly. I was kind of having a full-blown pug experience, and it was very, very hard to get every plus 12 done. I promise you. So this is not going to be easy. Plenty. I think it's roughly plus 12 on every key. This change will not affect a large chunk of players. So I would say the vast majority of players, not the vast majority maybe, but the majority of players that are interested in doing Mythic Plus, who are below the plus 12 kind of key level, they are completely unaffected by this change. Nothing will change for those people. You can still deplete keys. There will still be probably lots of toxicity. Again, you're probably still going to be forced to look into a meta spec if you want to even be invited to keys, because people want to time those keys, right? Unless you have your own dedicated group of people, this doesn't really change anything at all for probably 80 to 90% of the Mythic Plus player base. That last 10, maybe 5% of players who are pushing up above the 12s and then going even higher into 15, 17s, whatever, those players are going to be pretty happy, I would say, but everybody else is not. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I'm happy because I'm one of the players who is above the plus 12 level, but I understand that for the vast majority of players, they are not. And this is going to be literally nothing is changing for them. So I feel like Blizzard has really missed something here, that key depletion in general is not something that anybody likes to experience. Nobody wants to experience key depletion at all, ever. So this doesn't solve that problem for most players. Does that make sense? So I want to hear what you guys think about this one in particular. This is really important to me. What do you guys think about this change? How important is it to you? Does this matter? Maybe this doesn't matter at all because you're somebody who's pushing higher keys. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, if you cannot push really high into Mythic Plus, and maybe you're just tired of Mythic Plus toxicity in general or whatever, there is going to be gilded crests that you can now farm consistently from Delves. You don't have to wait to just get a map. So there's going to be 2 ways to get gilded crests, which are the highest level crests that upgrade the highest level gear in the game, okay? You're going to be able to do it from the raid and from Mythic Plus dungeons. That's great. But now for Delve people, you can get what's called a Delves Gilded Stash, which only comes from a tier 11 Delve. Now, we don't know all the details. I am just going to go out on a limb here and do a couple of educated guesses, okay? I am guessing that this basically says if you do a tier 11 Delve, you will always get rewarded with a Delver's Gilded Stash. That's my guess. And maybe it'll end up giving you 5 gilded crests or something, 4 or 5. It probably won't give you the same as Mythic Plus, which just got buffed, right? It's 15 or 20 now. I think it's up to 20 for Mythic Plus. It's not going to give you that many. Maybe it gives you 5 because Delves are endlessly farmable by yourself. So they're going to give you less rewards. But to me, I am guessing that you're going to be able to do a tier 11 Delve and get this stash every time, and it's going to give you some Gilded Harbinger crests, which will let you upgrade your mythic gear, which is great. If you don't want to go into a mythic plus dungeon and have to deal with people, this is going to be your way to avoid that, which is pretty nice, actually. It's just more options for players, which is good. As always, you can get the Delvers bounty, which is that map item that you get from tier 8 and above, and that will give you Gilded Harbinger crests as well. So that's what's happening in season 2. There's the new affix, which I think is going to be much, much, much better than the Oblivion one. It's just going to be orbs rotating around people, which is really great. There's this new M+ rating system, which really helps people who are able to get plus 12s done, but does absolutely nothing for players who can't get plus 12s done, which is interesting. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. And then there is the buffs to Delves, which I think are going to give you a more consistent reward of Gilded Harbinger crests over and over and over again. You can just farm them by yourself, which is actually a pretty sweet change in my opinion. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your opinions and thoughts on this heading into season 2. Are you excited for season 2 in general? I am very excited for it. I'm very excited to get on the PTR soon and give you guys some more content, which I will be doing. So if you're wondering, like, why isn't Zuko covering the season 2 stuff? It's not up on the PTR yet. It will be in January, very, very soon. I'm going to get on there as soon as I possibly can. You can see there's no 11.1 PTR yet. So as soon as I can get up there, I will, and I will give you guys, I will cover all the classes, all the changes that are coming. Stay tuned for that, okay? Thank you so much again for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.